Tomatoes. Probably after the potatoes, tomatoes are the most widely cultivated crop in the allotments in the UK, all around the world if you have a garden. And there are so many varieties of tomatoes. It's difficult sometimes to really figure out what is good, what you have to grow for one season to the next one. So every catalog claims something. They say this variety has this merits, that variety has other merits. And you get confused, especially when you consider that there are so many disease-resistant claims. And everybody says our tomato are disease-resistant. Practically, I think that is nonsense, because tomatoes are not supposed to grow in a wet climate like what we have in England, in the United Kingdom. So it's a dry climate or dryish climate crop. What we can do is to learn about them, to protect them, and choose the varieties that give the fruit before any of the blight falling upon them. For that, we have to know about different varieties, when they grow, when you have to sow them, when you have to harvest them, or if you have to take them when they are green, what's the variety for that? There are several books about it, tomatoes specifically. I like books which are just about one kind of crop. And I have a few of these kind of books. And these are two books about tomatoes. This one is published in Britain by National Trust, famous, trusted publisher. They have a lot of properties around the UK. And this one is an American book. The British one is quite interesting. It has lots of history. First of all, it is written by Jane McMorland Hunter, Kitchen Garden Cook or something like that. Let me see Kitchen Garden Cookbook, Tomatoes. And it has these chapters: contains introduction, a brief history of tomatoes, tomatoes in the garden, tomatoes in the kitchen, National Trust Kitchen Gardens. That's very interesting if you want to visit. Tomato days you can go and see the different varieties of tomato, picture credits and index. This book is about roughly in the 100 pages, 96 pages, yes. And what is interesting is that it has a very good history of the tomatoes. GM tomatoes, for example, this is the latest one. Practically, I'm not easy that if they have a tomato which is crossed between a real tomato and some animal genes because of some merits. We don't know much about these things. You may end up in 40 years time being told that, oh, we are sorry, this has this side effects, we didn't know about it by then. Who you can sue, who you can follow on that? Nobody can be responsive. Anyway, what is interesting in this book is about all the tomato varieties and how to water them. Even some little cooking guide at the end. What I like is the tomato varieties: beef steak tomato, globe tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. One of the best tomatoes that I've ever grown is Sungold. Let us see if it is mentioned here, Sungold. Sungold is a very sweet tomato. It's almost smallish to the medium size. It's kind of orange colored. It's very sweet in that sense. And yeah, I like that because I've grown it. It's very good. Sungold F1. That's a hybrid. It was originally bred in Japan. So I didn't know that. Yeah, something new. And then it can crop over a long period. That's perfectly true. Look at this. I have this tomato Sungold. It is now 23rd of January 2015, and this was harvested and brought here in the September 2014, and yet it is yet here. I have some of this yet left. We are eating them as we go ahead. So this is a British book, and this is good because it has all the familiar names. This book is published in America. The full title is You Bet Your Garden Guide to Growing Great Tomatoes. This is kind of radio show talk. You Bet Your Garden. This is kind of trademark, registered trademark. Growing Great Tomatoes by Mike McGrath. Host of Public Radio's You Bet Your Garden, former editor of Organic Gardening magazine. The subtitle is How to Grow Great Tasting Tomatoes in Any Backyard Garden or Container. By the way, I forgot to tell you, the publication date of this English book, British book, is 2011. And the price originally is £8.99, £9 almost. And what it was reduced to 99 pence. And I bought it in the Works bookshop. They sell very good books at very good prices, but you must be on alert when they come, because they come and go easily. This other book is published in the... I bought it in the Foyle, London, Charing Cross Road. It's published by Fox Chapel Publishing. And it was priced at £9.99. Of course. That's almost £10. It has these following chapters. The date of publication is 2012, 1 year after that other book. Let me see. Okay, contents. Introduction. Why I'm doing this instead of enjoying my summer. You see the kind of jokey language that he uses. Chapter 1, Picking Your Tomatoes. Chapter 2, Joy of Germination. Chapter 3, The Art of Tomato Planting. Staking and Caging. Food, Water, and Basic Keeping Alive Skills. Pest Control. Dealing with Disease. The Harvest and Beyond. Coolest Stuff Sources and Index. This is a book which mostly is I think you easily could cut half of the material here and just go to the substance, which is actually what you're after. The book is a little bit too much wordy sometimes, I feel. But when it comes to having some index about tomatoes, that's great. Look, of course there are some varieties that we don't grow here. Arkansas Traveler, Celebrity, never heard of this. Or they call, for example, the Black Russian, they call it Black Cream. Different namings. They don't like Russians, probably. They don't. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, stew pies. I've grown it last year. Was good. And some of the old varieties that you remember. Sungold, for example. Hybrids. That's what I like here. It's written 57 days to maturity. Comments: early yellow orange sweetie, unique, mild tropical citrusy flavor. That's kind of true. I felt that is more like plum, but anyway, citrusy, you can imagine. The Joy of Germination. I like this book. It's a bit too much wordy when it comes to words and being jokey and talking too much, writing too much practically. I feel that is a little wasteful, but if you have the time to read it over a cold winter night, that's your choice. You can enjoy this. Basically, most of it is words. The part that I really like is the varieties that I've mentioned, and yeah, it's a bit too long, but anyway, that can be seen as relevant sometimes. But some part of it is just because it was based on a radio talk show, is sometimes getting irrelevant. This is the gentleman who have written the book. Mike McGrath is a kind of Scottish origin, probably from UK originally, 200 years ago or whatever. The people who migrated there, and yeah, some good pictures. It's a specific book, some cartoons, as you see, and ideas. If it was me, I would buy this book first, then I would buy also this book. Simply because this is mostly related to what we have in the UK. That is also good. And if you want to have it, go and get it. They are almost similar priced if you get it on the original pricing. And that's it. These two books are what I recommend. So you can choose the varieties that you like. Of course, any catalog that you get, they have some guides. At the level of this, you get them for free. These books have something more than those catalogs that the catalogs don't have. History and anecdotes and stories, and growing guides and how to guides and how to protect, how to even cooking, some cooking advice. So, guide about planting and sowing your tomatoes. We are near the season. You can start to decide what kind of seeds you want for this year, and you can start sowing and growing. Spring is upon us.